into this moment, mind and body and soul. Becoming very sensitive to where your energy is. And just bringing yourself back to that center point of stillness within yourself, within your heart. Delighting in that solace that lies within the comfort and the sanctuary. That is your own quietude. It's really like having a secret, having a best friend. No matter what, you can always breathe and breathe yourself into this sweetness, this place where everything is okay. Surrender into that place right now. Lengthening your spine and taking a nice deep breath. Dissolving as you let that breath go. It's just the experience of the breath. No one to do the experiencing. Just the breath moving in and out of your body. Tendency to interpret fall away. And letting the distance between you and the infinite fall away. And in this feeling of trust and surrender, let's bring our hands together, rub them together a few times. Feel the energy in your palms. Press your thumbs against your sternum. And at this moment, relax your shoulders. Relax your chin ever so gently down toward your chest. Letting that energy flow in your spine. And let's inhale and exhale together. And now let's inhale to tune in.
Guru
to my fellow teachers, and my Saturday friends. Thank you for joining us today. We have a nice group here of soon-to-be teachers. They're already teachers, really. And today I'm going to be addressing my talk to them, but it's really to all of you. I don't want any of you to feel like it's not for you, because the topic is for all of us. The topic is Seva, which comes from the word Karseva. And what it really means is selfless service. And we have to, this is one of those points in our journey as Kundalini Yoga teachers where the Sikh tradition touches us and gives us a most precious jewel, because it was the Sikhs who really brought the notion of Seva into kind of an institution, a way of life, a lifestyle. And that's what I want to talk about. But I want to first start by sharing a little story that touched my heart. It was written by a gentleman who was riding on a train in India with his wife. And if any of you have been to India, you know the rains in India are no joke. And they were on this all-night train ride going from one city to another. And toward the morning, the tracks were completely flooded. And the train was stopped and couldn't go further. And they looked out their window and we thought, well, I guess we just have to wait it out. But do you know who was approaching the train? A Sikh gentleman, a couple of Sikh gentlemen, you know, recognizable by their turbans, but they had a big tray of tea and they were bringing tea to the train and offering tea. And the gentleman said, oh yes, I'll have one, and one for my wife too. Gladly accepted the tea, and after a few moments said, how much do I owe you? And the Sikh gentleman said, sir, this is Seva. We are from the local Gurdwara. We don't accept money for this. And now, if you'll excuse us, we have many more people to serve, and went about their way. And I was so touched by this story. I think what touches me most is the fact that what makes it Seva is the state of mind you embody and you behold while you're doing the selfless service, whatever that act is, whether it's serving tea or Kundalini Yoga teachers teaching yoga. What matters is your state of mind. And in this case, why I wanted to share the story is because the gentleman who was serving tea, the gentlemen who were serving tea, happened to be men, could have been women, but that was the story in this case. There was no shadow left behind. And by shadow, what I mean was there was no sense of gaining recognition, but there was also no sense of resentment. Both constitute what I mean by shadow. Looking for what you're going to get out of it, whether it's monetary reward or what a great guy, look what he's doing, and making sure that people are taking notes at how much you've done. No sense of that kind of recognition or sense of looking for approval or looking for what you're going to get out of it, or as the Bhagavad Gita famously says, in the form of a refrain, not looking for the fruits of your action. And I think that, and that's why this is for everybody, because so often in our day-to-day life, somewhere in there is this sense of, why am I always the one who has to do everything? Are people taking note here, or what's going to come back to me? And what makes it Seva is that we let all of that go. And that's really where the sense of renunciation takes place. And that's really where things were kind of turned on their head, when the Sikhs institutionalized Seva. You see, in traditional India, no one really wanted to do labor. In fact, the dirty work was for the lower caste, the segments of society that were considered way down below, the untouchables. And what started to happen here was really important, and without getting too deep into history, what started to happen was that the dignity of physical labor was revived. There was a sense of honor in serving, and it didn't matter what it was. And this becomes a way of life in that you see it not only in the Gurdwara, but in all of the community centers. everybody sits together and everybody takes their turn serving, and without making it too abstract, we see it right here in Yoga West. We see Amrit serving food, and we see all of us kind of rotating and taking our turn to serve and clean up and doing what needs to be done to serve our community. And so it's a very fulfilling thing to do. It's not considered dirty work. It's fulfilling in that we all pool our talents, but it's also fulfilling in that as a community, it binds us together and we share our sorrows as well. So that's the dignity of Seva as service. But I want to, before I move on, I want to say a little bit more about the state of mind that makes it true service. It has to do with humility, and it's notable that Guru Singh was talking about humility a few minutes ago. He was talking about that false sense of humility. Oh, no, not me. Oh, gosh, no, I'm not that great. That's not the kind of humility we're talking about when we talk about the state of mind that makes it Seva. The state of mind has more to do with what are thought of as two wings of a bird, Simran and Seva. And that's a word I want to kind of put out there because you probably know somebody whose name is Simran. We had, in fact, Guru Prem and Simran come in, didn't we, earlier in the year? Guru Prem and his lovely wife Simran. We have Seva Simran, who stepped out to get the turmeric for your after-lunch snack. So this name Simran is a word that you've heard, and I want you to know what it means. It means remembrance, really. But in this context, what it really means is remembering God. This is very profound. Because Seva and Simran become like two wings of a bird. They both become part of it. And this is what I mean when I talk about it's your state of mind that matters. Because we get into this feeling, the state of mind that we call Simran. So that as I'm serving, I'm remembering God. What does that mean? It reminds me of a story I heard about Mother Teresa. She said, when I serve others, and I used to think when I was young and I would hear her stories, how can she serve people with leprosy and all of this stuff? She feels as though she's serving Jesus. And that really hit me when you really contemplate what it means. Can you feel as if you're serving God when you serve others? But there's more. Can you feel as if you yourself are bringing the infinite within your own heart as you serve? So you're bringing the infinite to your own vessel, the finite, this material being that serves us in this lifetime. You're bringing the infinite to life in your body through your creative acts of service. Whoa. So you're serving God and you're becoming God in this act of service that we call Seva. And that's what makes it Seva. It makes it really profound and really deep. It's not just doing charity and moving on and getting some brownie points, with whoever's watching. It's so much more profound than that. Manifesting that sense of the divine in the way that you serve. And so as Kundalini Yoga teachers, I want to kind of put it out there to you without any definitive answer, because everybody's answer will be a little bit different. What does it mean to you to serve as teachers? What does it mean to let go? And this is what Karma Yoga is. Letting go of the fruits of your actions. What does that mean? How can we do that as teachers without feeling any shadow, without feeling any resentment, without feeling as though you're spent? You've given all you can give. And I think we all feel that in the jobs that we do as parents. What does it mean to make sure that we serve in that sense of renouncing the rewards, the recognition, but also not feeling resentful? Does it mean knowing your limits, but making yourself stronger all the while so that you can serve with all your heart? Does it mean bringing that sense of the divine to the forefront every time you serve? How can you do that? These are the kinds of questions I just want to plant within you, like planting a little seed, and just get you thinking about that a little bit as you go about the weekend. What does Seva mean to you? So the set, actually 2 little short sets that I've chosen for you today, bring us into that state of mind that we can call humility selfless service is letting go of the egoic need for recognition, letting go of the shadows, serving without need for reward. This set will bring us into that state of mind. We can call it Simran. We'll be bowing, and those of you who take my classes know I'm a big fan of the bow, because to the Western eye it might seem as weakness, but there's really a great strength in surrendering through the act of bowing, saying yes and thank you to life, and serving in return. So we'll be bowing a little bit. We'll do a little bit of chanting. But first, because the set doesn't have us standing, let's come standing. Let's open up our spinal channels.